I'm here with Youth the Messiah on his. What has it been? 3 weeks since your last release?
Since the album, it's been 1 or 2, I think.
One or two?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's been out for about 2 weeks now, I think. Yeah.
I've listened to it a few times. What is it called again? It's called.
What Am I to Do?
It's a really great album.
Yes.
I liked it.
Thank you.
What now? I remember doing this with you when you with your last album.
Mosaic.
It was Mosaic.
Yeah.
That was the last time I interviewed you about your music.
That was my last, we done little projects, but that was my last full length album, I feel like. So.
Yeah. So it's been a while since you did an album. It was about a year and a half.
Yeah, I'd say probably a year and a half.
Which maybe isn't the longest hiatus you've ever seen, but it's. So what was going on between that year? Because I know stuff that happened in that time has definitely inspired your music.
Right, man. I mean,
it's been a turbulent year. It's 2020.
It's been a turbulent year for everyone. I feel like it's crazy because with this record, I definitely was talking about, I guess, what was going on with me during that hiatus, if you want to call it, during that time frame between Mosaic and this record coming out, What Am I to Do? But what's crazy about it is a lot of the things that I think people experienced during the pandemic actually experienced in 2019, a few months before the pandemic really started. But because of that, I was not happy with how the year happened. It's shitty for a lot of people. I was happy with I guess in a sense that people were like, oh, we can actually really relate to what you're saying on this record. Because a lot of us were going through the similar thing. So, I was glad that people, I think, it resonated with people so well. So
it definitely did. Especially that I think it was the second song, What Am I to Do? No. That's the first song.
Yeah, why
the second song was Why Do We Do? Why Do We Do?
Why do we?
Why do we?
Why do we? What it do, baby?
Exactly.
What it do, baby?
And some of the things that you said in there, I really related to that. Why do we kill? Why do we steal? Why do we do all these bad things to each other?
Yeah.
Why do we do all these bad things to ourselves? Why do we take pills?
Yeah.
So I love the way you said that because it's very relevant to this time. So can you talk a little bit more about what you were thinking?
Yeah, with that song, I want it to be something that people could really, I guess, party and rage to. So we were looking into beats that were a Sheck West kind of style, but I looked at it what if we took Sheck West, but he had more I don't know, lyrical skills, better flow and shit like that. What if we did it my style over his beat? And so we're looking into instrumentals like that. But as far as the lyrics go, really, my music has always kind of been political in a sense. These aren't new territories I'm reaching, but I think what's the difference with this one is that, we made it so much catchier. When I was writing this one and we were producing it, it just came out so much catchier, where I feel like a critique I've had of myself before is maybe with previous music, it's been a bit preachy. And this one I was I don't want to beat people over the head with the message. I want it to be a song they just listen to and be like, yeah, it's catchy, yeah, it's got a nice beat, yeah, it's got this aggressive, fast flow, right? But when they listen deeper, they're like, oh man, this is a lot of what's going on this year. This is a lot of what's been going on the past few years. It's crazy to acknowledge it in that way. So I think that it's preachy without, or I should say it has a message without being overly preachy. So it's one of my favorites that I made as well.
It's definitely one of my favorites as well.
For sure.
But then there was another song that I really liked.
There's a few songs.
This one in particular because I'm a rock fan myself.
Right, yeah.
So you had kind of a rock vibe. Actually, it was really more like a rock song, I feel like.
100%.
Yeah. It was I Don't Know Anymore.
Yeah.
And you had a few people featured on there, actually, is that correct?
I worked with Fixed Fate. I've worked with John before, Fixed Fate. Have him do guitar solos on my shit. This time we had him do the whole instrumental guitar, the bass. My dude Matt Fischetti, who mixes all my projects, he programmed some drums with it. But we had John do guitar and bass on it, and I don't know, I really wanted to sing on it. When I was writing it, it has such a melody in my head. And I'm not really a singer, dude, but I was I want to try with this one, and I feel You know, I was nervous with it, but I was like, I think that will work in favor because I wanted the vocals to sound shaky, as if like someone was like nervous of. I wanted to sound like someone was like behind a desk, right? And like, I don't know, something's approaching them and they don't know what it is, so they're like, oh, what's going on? Where is it? Like, so it's crazy. When I was recording it in the booth, at least the verses, I was kind of shaky to give it that. Because singing and rapping is a lot like acting. You want to be in character for it.
So it's a lot of movement in the body.
I was shaky to kind of give it that, I guess, like feel of like anxiousness. And obviously, I think with the hook screaming it, I had like a different motion. I was more like holding my head, like as if I was like going insane. I did the same thing with the screaming, rapping on Why Do We? But you know, that's a lot of how I'm able to record with such emotion. It's right. When you act it out with your body, you can convey it in your voice too. Right. So I was glad I tried that out, and working with Lindsay on that too.
Right, Lindsay Whiteman. I was excited to talk about her because she was on Mosaic, and she was very good.
Well, she was on an EP I worked on. She was on the Midnight the Messiah EP, DJ Midnight.
Oh, that's right.
Butterfly Man's, yeah. So, and like, it's so funny because I said it to her and she was like, this ain't no Butterfly Man's. I don't know what the fuck. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you on, but I'm here for it. I like it. Like, I'm a fan. And she really liked the idea of having this song where there is that mood change and that beat change halfway through. That's a total contradiction of the first half. And for Butterfly Man's, I had her write that hook, but for this one, I actually wrote it because I was like, I specifically want her to say like this to have it transition. Okay. I specifically want to come out of this like mosh pit rock style shitstorm in the first half, this chaotic, dark first half, and I want to have her sing these words so pleasantly. And she came up with a nice melody for it, really beautiful one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It was when I first heard it, I was like, oh. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I want it to be kind of like a surprise where people are like, wait, it's not over. What's this half about? Like, yeah, and we were really inspired by Tyler, the Creator. We were making the beat for that second half. You know, we wanted to be something that sounds like sunshine, that sounds like a vibe, that sounds like a sunny day at the beach. Because it really is, like, that song really is, like, I think the total, like, switch in the album. It really is the turning point where like the first half is really aggressive, it's kind of depressing. The second half is more accepting, it's more hopeful, it's more loving and fun, and it's something more you could dance to.
Right.
And we wanted a song to really, I guess, exemplify that switch. Like when I worked with Lindsay, I said, I was like, this is the most important song on the record, honestly, because it's that turning point.
Right.
And she nailed it, and I was just so happy with how my verse came out, how my singing came out, much better than I thought it would be. And yeah, it was really fun to record that one. As much as I had to be in like a manic state for it, it was definitely fun.
So there was one song that was kind of interesting. Had a title, Hey Jolie.
Yeah.
So, we all know that when artists put names, it's got to be about someone.
Of course it is, man. Of
so,
course it's about someone.
But that's a woman's name.
Yeah.
Is there a woman in your life?
There is a woman in my life.
There's a woman in your life.
There's a very important woman in my life.
Can we talk about this woman that inspired this song? Because it was a good song.
Yeah,
It had a lot of really great themes in it. And I want to talk about those themes, so please.
You know, well, I was living upstate with some people, and I started dating this girl my last semester of college. Her name was Angelina. She's amazing. She's beautiful. I love her so much. And it was really awesome to kind of spend like a year with her. I was working as a travel advisor, but of course the pandemic hit, that industry kind of tanked, man, and we were doing mostly cruises, right? So it was like I was like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, you know. I left a little bit before, I left in like February, so a little bit before like the pandemic really started getting bad in the US, but definitely at the right time, because that's when they were starting to ban like travel in Europe and China and different countries.
Of course.
So, you know, I couldn't really pay rent, and there weren't really any other businesses that were staying open, and so I moved back home with my parents, right? I wanted to write this song, especially the second half, to kind of say, like, you know, as much as we're apart physically, you know, I still love her as much as I did when we were together, and I wanted to write her something, I guess, that just be like a reminder of that in a sense, and a reminder of, like I said in the song, like doesn't matter where the world takes me, as long as you remember me, as long as I still have your love, as long as we still together. I really want to be like on my Hey Delilah shit or whatever.
That's a sad song. That's
yeah,
not
but it's kind of, but it's
like, hey, why'd you do this to me? You like, do you know the meaning of that song?
I always saw it as like it's kind of a love song, because it's like him saying like he really, even though the girl's apart, like he really feels for her, and
right.
I wanted to write something that was like that. The first half I think was more, I guess, how I felt when I first started dating her. I realized like this is different. Like this is like love. Like this is someone like I could see myself, not at this point, but in due time, spending my life with, or marrying, or starting a family with, and that's something I don't really say about people I date. So it was a really special feeling to me. I wanted to capture it in such a happy, funky way, like such a loving way, like the song does. I wanted the song to feel like warmth and happiness, right? So that's what the first half is like. I guess the second half is more like being at the point I am now, where we may not be together, but we have all these memories we hold to. We want to create more, and despite distance, we want to make it work. And that's kind of what my inspiration was for writing it, man. And it was really cool getting Maya on it, because she is super, super talented.
Right. I remember there was and I didn't know that she was going to be in that song. I didn't know she was featured. She was great.
Maya's amazing. She's a phenomenal singer. And it's crazy, because like she's not even, she thought when I was working on the song with her, she was like, yo, your girl's gonna melt when she hears this. I was like, I don't know. Like she was so happy to be a part of it. And I was nervous to do this song, because I thought like it was gonna come out like mad corny, and like people would be like, yo, this is like when Chance the Rapper was talking about his wife on that fucking album, The Big Day, and like this is like, but no, the reception of it was really good. A lot of people were like, this is my favorite song on the record, and it became one of my favorites too, just because I think the way I pitch shifted my voice, the way I changed pitches was nice with it. Maya's feature was awesome, and again, like she's not super famous, but I like listening to her records. She has this one album out. It's like Pain, Perfection, something else. I don't know. Pain, Perfection, Passion, I think. It's a really good record, and I was listening to it, and like, when like some people get like that feature on their song and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I got this person. That's how I felt working with Maya, where like I'm like, she's not even famous, but I'm just such a big fan of what she does, that I was like, damn, I actually got her to be a part of my shit.
That's great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's gotta be a great thing.
And I was gonna delete my singing vocals, like originally recorded that to be like, it was just something she can work with, she can hear what it has to sound like. But then when we were mixing it, like Fish was like, dude, just keep yours, like y'all sound nice together. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess we can. Like, I felt more confident in my singing voice with this record, so.
Which I was surprised you did sing on this record. You did it in I Don't Know Anymore, and you also did it in this song.
Yeah.
And I thought, most rappers don't really sing. But I liked your voice.
I'm not like an auto crooner or anything, but I could do little things here and there. I wanted to experiment with it. It's something I've been practicing, again, from that time period of Mosaic to this record. It's something I've been practicing, so I wanted to really put into fruition. And having Fish work on it, Matt Fischetti, he's really good with the mixing, so he touched it up real nice.
Right.
So that was cool too, yeah. For sure.
I want to talk a little bit about ability, where it comes from, like what really inspired.
I got the power to be. Feel shit deeper than me. You live here, that's what you see. Yeah, so that song, man, it's, to me, it's about excitement. It's about, I want this to be like the celebratory anthem. It's about confidence, man. It's about like people trying to put you down, or people trying to say you can't do this, you can't do that, but you're like, I have the power, I have the ability, no matter what you think, I'm capable of this, Like, it really is just kind of like that typical rap braggadocio track, but we wanted to add like a little extra flavor to it. We want to do it in our way, in my way. And it was cool to work on it with JSV. He had some funny bars on it. I liked his verse a lot. Like he was talking, he saw one of my shows we both went to the same college, so he saw one of my shows there, And he was like, yeah, man, like, I spit too, you know, I'd love to be on a song. I was like, I think I got one for you. It took a lot of time to develop, but I hit him up in the summer, and I was like, yo, man, this is the one. Like, I could see you on this shit.
Okay.
I had someone else initially was going to be on the hook, but we kind of had a difference in, a lot of people call it political opinions. I call it more moral opinions regarding, like, Black Lives Matter and
Was this a white person?
it was, and we had difference of opinion on that, and I kind of saw it as, you know, if you can't admit that if you can't admit that people like Jason, who's featured on the track, was a black man, if you can't admit that people like him, like, his life matters, I don't want you to be on a song with him, right? That just doesn't seem right to me.
It's very great, good philosophy for you to have. If that's what you believe, then you should stick with it.
I stick with it, man, and I like to work with people that, you know, I fuck with. So the energy that I fuck with. So then, you know, a little bit before that, Kendall Joseph messaged me, and he liked the few singles I was putting out. He was like, yeah, man, when I'm back in New York, and he was on fucking 9 to 5, so we've worked together before. And he was like, yeah, when I'm back in New York, let's do a song. It could be like reggae, it could be like, you know, R&B rap kind of thing. Like, you know, let's do something. So I decided to him up. I said, hey, like, you know, I had someone for this song, but it didn't work out. Do you think you could sing this part that I had in mind? So I sent him the recording of me doing it. He sent it back. And not only did he send it back and it sounded stellar with him and Jason singing it, but he sent back a verse too. And I was like, oh, you rap now, bro? Okay. And I checked it out, and it was pretty sick. And he had like a full thing, but we decided we only wanted to include the last 8 bars of Kendall because I think my favorite part of his verse was how he ended it. And I was like, man, I already recorded, you know, this verse with Jason, but I like what you're doing here. So yeah.
You go.
Sorry, that just distracted me. Sorry. Yeah, so I was saying, I was like, man, I like what you're doing here, but we already have Jason. Like, maybe we'll take part of yours, put it at the end, so it you know, it ends in the cool way that Kendall did it. And it all flowed together really nicely. Like, for a song that kind of wasn't planned the best way, it came out really awesome, and I was just really happy with the results, for sure. It's one of my favorite, like, party anthems I've done, for sure. It's good. Yeah. We had a little twerking contest for it.
Oh, yeah. Who won?
So the winner of it was actually someone that knows both me and Jason, so that's why she was so hyped to do it. Makai Sullivan, and she won the $10 in an orange bowl. So I'm gonna get it to you, Makai, I promise. You know.
So she hasn't been paid yet.
Not yet.
That's funny.
At the end of August of this year, she gonna get paid.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna bring it to her personally.
Oh.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm a man of my word, you know, and it was really cool doing that contest because I didn't think as many people would participate as they did, and I was like, damn, I guess people really kind of fuck with the song. It could be played at parties, it could be played working out, it could be all kinds of anthems, man, different types, yeah.
You could play in baseball.
Sure.
I have the ability.
I got the ability.
Something like that.
Playing T-ball. I got the ability. Right? T. You know, like fucking.
Very punny.
Yeah, I'm a punny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I would like to talk about Bright Beginnings. I really feel like it has a theme of hope during this turbulent year that we've been having. Can you talk a little bit more about it, please? Yeah.
So actually, like, when we were working on, or when I was writing Bright Beginnings, you know, I found that beat from Toucan, who's like a producer online, and I was actually thinking about using it. I was like, you know, maybe I'll use this for like because I already have the album planned out, right? There's gonna be 7 songs. There's gonna be 8. So I was listening to it. I was like, you know, maybe I'll do something with this for like a future project or just like a single. And I was in the woods, right, skateboarding, walking around, hiking, listening to this beat, and this was like right after, I think a lot of protests or riots were happening, like right around the time of George Floyd's murder, and I was just like, I can't believe, like, even with the crazy year we've had, like, now this is happening on top of it. Like, now we have, like, more police brutality. You know, we have more people robbing each other, and we have more people, like, just arguing and fighting back and forth. And more division in our country, which is crazy. And like we were already at a point where we were divided on so many issues, right? So I felt this like weird kind of sadness, but also this hope of like just thinking about the future and thinking about like, you know, one day I think we will look back on it and our country, and I already saw it from like even a few days after the events, that we'll learn to be better from it as people, you know, for the faith of humanity, for the sake of humanity. And that's when the inspiration for the song came to me, you know, saying darker days will always lead to bright beginnings, right? Cathedrals been collapsing, why not start rebuilding?
That happened.
You know, with things happening, with things falling apart, why not start rebuilding for the better? So rather than I think looking at, you know, this year of, like you said, the craziness going on, the chaos of the country and the world, instead of looking at it as this is so awful, maybe we could look at it as this is a chance to start again. You know, it's like a glass half full kind of point of view of the whole thing, right? So, and that's what inspired lyrics like I can't wait till we ditch the mask and we can see our smiling faces, so we can globetrot to all these places, so we can you know, to my kids can play and all their friends feel safe around police, like, you know, despite what race or ethnicity that of the friends that my children might have, or whatever ethnicity they end up being, depending who I marry and such, that all of them can just feel safe in this world, you know. And I really think it's possible. I really think, and I think that, again, rather than looking at this as this is such a negative thing to happen, we look at it as let this be inspiration to get us there, to have a bright beginning, you know. And I think this song I want to sound like a hug to people who were just like, man, I'm sick of this crazy year and I'm sick of the state of the world and the chaos of it. I want this song to sound like a big, warm fucking hug to everyone. Like, we're gonna get through this with love, you know. I got a lot of love in my heart, man, for sure.
So what's next for you, Meet the Messiah?
What's next for me, man? I mean, a lot's up in the air right now. I will say, you know, I'm working on a few songs that are kind of a bit more upbeat, a bit more of a dance groove, more of like electronic direction. I want to do something different with like future EPs or albums, you know. But I don't know, I have to see how that will turn out, you know, because I experiment with a lot of different genres. So I guess it all depends what I try and what sounds good, you know, in the booth. But I will say, from just working on this project alone and sending it to people, I have a lot of people now saying like, oh, you want to do a feature on this? You want to collaborate with us on this project, or like, you know, this single? So I'm expecting to, you know, I want to do a lot of features for artists for a while, you know, kind of. I guess I have so many people come and work on my albums and EPs. I'm excited that now I'm getting the opportunity to work on theirs, you know, hear out their creative artistic visions and like, you know, contribute what I can bring to help bring it to life in the way that they want to be conceived. So I guess I'll be stepping into other people's minds a bit, but bringing my own energy to it, you know, which I'm excited for, because that in itself inspires me a lot to work on my own music. So yeah.
Thank you very much for this interview, and thank you so much for watching. This is Meet the Messiah. Please listen to his new album.
What am I to do out everywhere right now? Check that shit out. Album of the year, baby! Album of the year, baby!
That's what he says.
It's true, baby.